Hello, welcome to Build Series. I'm Adam Lance Garcia from Yahoo Entertainment. He's been a jukebox repairman, a big bad, a brown coat, a crime-solving detective, but for the first time ever, he's playing a rookie. Let's take a look at the aptly titled new series, The Rookie.
Happy Divorce Day. So, what do you want to do next?
When I figure it out, I'll let you know.
Get down! Whoa! Get back down now! You want to die?
No. But honestly, have I really lived? This bank robbery is the most exciting thing that's happened to me in a lot of years.
Please shut the door!
You were really brave.
We got some new blood this morning, and some who were born before disco died. Officer Bishop, you get to ride with the 40-year-old rookie.
Sergeant Gray does not appear to be a fan of my presence in this department.
Because you're old as hell? You're about to hit the street with a loaded handgun and no idea what happens next.
The unicorn! He's laughing at me! I can handle unicorns, all right? This is what we train for. Go get him, boo.
Do you think this is a joke?
No, ma'am. I'm here to work, and I won't let you down.
I don't like you, Officer Nolan. I hate what you represent. A walking midlife crisis. And that will get my people killed.
You know, I thought taking control of my life was going to be liberating, but maybe I made a mistake.
Show me what you got.
There's a moment in your bones when the fire takes over.
So how'd he do?
He dove right in, even though there was a knife.
I think there's value in having a rookie with his perspective. He deserves a chance.
I thought I had to become someone else to do this job, that who I was before wasn't good enough. I earned my place here, and I'm not leaving.
We can be heroes everywhere we go. We can have all that we ever want.
I became a cop to help people, not kill them. What happens next? You'll change both of our lives.
You tired, Officer Nolan?
No, ma'am.
Good, because we got 8 hours left on our shift.
Please welcome the star of The Rookie, Nathan Fillion. Holy crap, I'm talking to Nathan Fillion. I never thought this day would come, and I'm very excited, not gonna lie.
Thanks.
Good. This is a great interview so far. So tell us a little about the show and the character you're playing.
So it's a cop show. History tells us that people enjoy cop shows. We were looking for a new foray into a new angle, and the idea of the do-over is prevalent in our culture right now. This is what people are doing. People are marriage was the norm, then divorce became the norm, and now people are starting over. Gone are the days where you get a job in your early 20s or late teens and you die doing that job. The changeover is much faster. Things are happening at a much more rapid rate. So if you are not experiencing a do-over in your life, you know someone who is, and this is what's happening right now. And that was our in. Look at this guy.
He's so handsome. This is based on a real story, a true story.
Yes.
How does approaching a character that is real, how does it change your approach to the character?
You know, so we're not telling this. There is a man who, at 40 years old, decided to become a cop.
Right.
And the LAPD is one of 2 precincts that will take you over the age of 37. So we are borrowing that idea and then taking it and making a TV show out of it. We're not trying to retell the story of this gentleman's life. There's a kernel of truth from which we plant and sow the crop that is our series.
You're one of the executive producers on the series.
That's correct.
And how does your time as a producer affected your approach to this show? Because you've produced a few shows by now.
You know, I think in my case, being a producer on the show simply gives you a title for all the experience that you bring along with it. A case in point, the other day we're shooting in Los Angeles. It's hot in LA. It's a little chilly here, but in LA we still have very hot days. It was 109. We're in an alley downtown Los Angeles. We're wearing black wool. It's hot. And we were talking about filming this scene, and I said, everything after this is the setup, this is the punchline. Everything after that will get cut out of the show. We'll never have time. We'll never ever see it. Why film it? It's going to take us 3 hours to film that part. Let's just cut it out now.
I feel like
it's nice having that kind of voice.
Yeah. I also feel like the show's a lot more serious than I expected to be. Like you're really great at playing sort of this lovable asshole, and I say that with love because you're really good at it. And it's a fine line to walk. I always find like you have to be charming, you have to be quick, but you always make it enjoyable and fun. But what I really appreciated about the show, and we were talking about it before we went on air, is that there's a lot of emotion behind this show. So, there's a scene where, I'm not going to spoil it, where I got worked up watching it. And I guess I always want to know, when you're balancing the line of like humor and drama, what is that challenge like for you?
Drama is a lot easier than comedy. Making people laugh is hard to do.
Yeah.
Drama, you do far less.
There you go.
There you go.
There's an important conversation happening in this country right now about how police and community relations. How do you hope this show addresses that conversation?
Good question. There is certainly enough bad stories we're going to see in the news, and unfortunately, bad news makes for good news. But the fact is, when something goes wrong, we all still dial 911. There's a lot of cops out there who are doing a fantastic job that you just don't hear about because it just doesn't make for good news. We are well aware that there are bad things happening out there, but we are interested in telling the stories of people who are inspired to be police officers. This is a calling. This is a public service. This is a terrible job. Oh my God, I would never be a cop. Guys, just so you know, when everything goes terribly, terribly wrong, that's when police jobs start. This is already out of hand, now you go. And the stakes are very, very high. It's an intense job, and you have to have that calling.
Did you do any ride-alongs to research the role? Or?
There are people on our show who did some ride-alongs. I went to places like London to sell the show and press our interests, industry-wise. While they were doing ride-alongs, their experiences ran from the most exciting thing was getting tacos to we came across a gang block party.
Oh, that's not terrible.
They said it was tense.
Yeah.
They said it was tense.
Huh.
Yeah.
You look amazing, by the way.
Keep talking.
You look just incredible, and just really handsome and just great. No, but you look in incredible shape.
Thank you.
What did you do to prepare for this role? And speak slowly, because I want to get Fillion fit.
You do this. You do the thing where you try to cut out the sugar.
Yeah.
You don't sugar and bread. You try to cut that stuff
Yeah.
out. You want to work out. You want to treat yourself good. Drink lots of water.
Mm-hmm.
On top of everything, I got a little watch that counts your steps. And you're supposed to do 12,000 steps a day.
Okay.
That equals for me about almost 6 miles a day. It's a job. It's a job. It's really hard to get that many steps in. And then on top of that, the steps on my watch are so small I can't read it. So I'm so old. I can't read my watch. I have to ask somebody, how many steps do I have?
Speaking of age, not to make everyone here feel very old, but it's been 20 years since you premiered the character of Johnny Donnelly on Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place.
This sounds close to true. Yes.
Yeah, it was 1998.
Yes.
So I feel very old because I remember when that came on, and I watched that show quite a bit. I was wondering, what do you remember of that role? And are you
everything?
Everything. Go on.
I remember everything. I remember that was when I learned so I came on as this character who seemed like a really cool guy. He was the fix-it guy. He was the nice guy. He was the voice of reason, whereas the other characters were really out there. And then later on they said, and by the way, now he's cheap.
Huh.
And I thought, what? I had this really cool character. He was so awesome, and now he's cheap? I thought that was the worst, and then I realized nobody wants a perfect guy.
Yeah.
There are no perfect guys.
I mean, I'm looking at one right now.
Keep talking. But the flaws are where you get the relatability.
Right.
We all know someone cheap. And the flaws are where we mine the comedy.
And you started as like a secondary character, but then you graduated to a series regular.
That's correct.
And then it sort of like it changed from two guys, a girl, and a pizza place to just two guys and a girl.
Yes.
Like, how did that transition feel for you? Because was that your first series regular role?
Let me tell you, I was broke. I had watched my money dwindle away. I was a year of unemployment. I was reaching for the phone to pick it up to call One Life to Live. I used to work down the street. Which way is north?
That's north?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to work up on 66th Street. I was on One Life to Live for 3 years, had a great time.
Yeah.
And I came out to LA to try my hand. I did like a couple of jobs. I was on a rocket, you guys. I was on a rocket to the top. It was amazing. And then a year of unemployment. And I was ready to come back. And the phone rang as I was about to pick it up. And that was two guys and a girl saying, why don't you come by? And that job lasted me 2.5 years. And I got to say, that unemployment taught me the value of work.
Yeah.
I know what it is like to pay my rent on credit.
Yeah.
And to value a job is it's a good lesson.
Speaking of One Life to Live, one thing that I always found interesting about the way those series were shot, they were shot like down an aisle, and like they would move to other sets down this aisle they shoot an entire episode in a day. Yes. What was that like? Because that feels like the most intense job for an actor, just to like.
I will never speak poorly of daytime.
Yeah.
It is the hardest work I've ever done. It's the most intense work I've ever done. Now I shoot a 42-minute program. It takes me 8 days of 14 to 16-hour days. Right. Whereas then we would do one and then a little bit of an episode every day. Now I think they changed it since for the few soaps that are left. I mean, it's dying. It's a dying breed.
Yes. So Joss Whedon described Mal Reynolds as, I know a lot of brown coats in the audience. He described
Is that true?
See?
Just checking. Thank you.
I'm a brown coat. I'm not going to lie. But he described him as sort of Han Solo. Did you go see Solo and you're like, I've done it better?
I really enjoyed Solo.
I mean, so did I.
I had a really great time.
Yeah.
Why is my voice so high?
I don't know.
But I enjoyed I had a great time with Solo. There's a guy that I can relate to, and like Malcolm Reynolds, just the worst luck.
Yeah.
I mean, just can't catch a break. I can relate to that. I can't relate so much to spaceships and robots and that kind of the super future stuff and traveling to different planets, but not catching a break. That I can relate to that. Although I am pretty super duper lucky in real life, actually.
Yes, he is.
I'm really lucky guy.
He's really lucky, guys. You recently did a Nathan Drake fan film.
I did that.
And I loved it, by the way, because it's like, if there's one person who needs to play Nathan Drake, it's you. I mean,
thanks. That's very kind.
How did you get involved in that? Because I've always been fascinated by the fan film culture, and you're like, oh, this is a fan film. I'll do it.
Alan Unger, a director from Canada, was introduced to me through a mutual friend. We sat down for vegan Thai food, and I had some sort of pad Thai with no meat, and he is a fan of that franchise.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed those games. There's another guy that we can relate to. There's I could totally picture myself in Nathan Drake's shoes, only maybe not as smart with the history, but. Oh, I'm not such a climby guy, too. I'm not with heights.
You can do it. I mean, it's like you're just like on a little apple box.
Heights.
Yeah, no. No.
But like Alan Unger, I was waiting for someone to do something Drake's Fortune or oriented. Yeah. I wanted to see it. Just show me something. And we kind of got tired of waiting, so he wanted to do something, and I was in.
How is the response? Has the response surprised you at all, or? Because I know, like, the fans have been advocating for you to be Nathan Drake for years, and like, you're do it, and now, like, what do we do? My question really is, what do we have to do now to get you on the big screen?
Yes. So the one thing that did surprise me was for everyone who said, "I want Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake," then you give it to them, and they go, "Not enough." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, so he finally got it, and it's like, but more. So, it became my new hobby after we did that. We released it on YouTube. It became my new hobby to watch the fan film reactions that people do.
Yeah.
They film themselves watching the thing.
What's the coolest one you've seen?
There was this kid. He's wearing glasses. He's blonde. He has a slight accent, some European accent, and he was just a step ahead every moment. He knew what was coming next. He was just kind of rewarded with every moment. It was very fun to watch him.
Don't read the YouTube comments. I'm just going to tell you right now, though. Like YouTube comments, no, they're great. They're great, just in general.
Oh, okay.
Like no, yours are fine.
Why?
I'm
What did
just
they
saying
say?
In general,
What did you hear?
They're a nightmare.
Didn't know that part.
You're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
So you did Con Man, which is created by your Firefly co-star Alan Tudyk.
Yes.
And you also executive produced that, I believe.
Yes, I did.
And it's loosely based on his own experiences at comic conventions. And you've been to many comic conventions.
Many I have. And I also want to add that when I was working at One Life to Live in 1994 through 97, right up the street on Columbus at Harry's Burritos, Alan Tudyk was my waiter.
Really?
Yeah, for 3 years.
Did you tell him that? Or?
We figured it out later on.
That's crazy. Did you tip him well?
Apparently, yes. Yes, I'm a good tipper.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, thanks.
Good.
Yeah.
But like, what was the weirdest? I always wonder for someone like yourself, like, what is the strangest Comic-Con moment you've ever had?
You know, when someone makes a comment and you think they're joking, so you make a joke.
Yeah.
And then you realize they weren't joking and they haven't drawn the line between fantasy and reality.
Ugh.
That becomes awkward.
Can you give us an example?
I mean,
no names.
Yeah, no names. I can't think of an example off the top. I'll tell you one odd thing that happened to me. I was signing autographs. I signed an autograph for somebody. It was kind of like on a riser. They moved off to the side. Now I'm signing autographs for more people. And I hear this first person saying, Nathan, you should, you know that nude scene you did in Firefly? I did a scene where I was naked in the desert.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get to but do you remember that nude scene? Yes, I remember. Hey, what was your name? Okay, good. You should do more of those. That's really creepy, sir. This is like 50-something-year-old gentleman.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
It gets a little odd at that point.
It gets a little odd.
It's like maybe things you don't yell out across a room.
And he did anyway.
There you go.
Were there any, like, Castle recently ended.
Wait, what? What?
I know.
What did you hear?
I heard that it ended.
It's true. 2 years ago, yeah, it's true.
What was your just favorite memory working on that? It could be
my favorite memory working on. So I worked 8 years. For every 42 minutes you watched, I did eight days of like 14 to 16-hour days. What was my favorite day of all those days? Easy question. Super easy.
Oh, super easy. No, like we only have softballs here, Bill.
I can tell you though, when I started that, we filmed that pilot right here in town.
Right.
We filmed the pilot here. And I remember there was a day, I took everybody out. We did this solve a mystery thing down in the lower end of town. We were solving some kind of mystery play. You run around town trying to put pieces together. It was a lot of fun. And Molly Quinn, it started to rain. She was running around jumping in puddles. She's this skinny little 14-year-old kid jumping in puddles. And then the last season of Castle, I'm looking, she's a 23-year-old woman, and, right? It makes you feel a little old, but I'm going, oh my God, this kid literally grew up in front of my eyes.
What is that like?
I used to be the son. When I started, I was the son. I was somebody, there was like somebody important on the show, and I was their son. Now, I'm the person on the show, and I have kids.
That is weird.
Now, on my new show, my kids are off to college.
Are they going to play a role in the show? I mean,
I'm technically the age I could be a grandfather.
That's actually one thing that I really, going back to the rookie that I'm looking forward to seeing is both your relationship to your ex-wife.
Yes.
So that's a big thing. Like in the show, your character, and is recently divorced.
Yes.
Gets into a bank robbery.
Yes.
Decides to become a cop. How will his extended family, his ex-wife, and his kids play a role in the story moving forward?
He does have a relationship with his son. They're still very, very tight. He's already been in an episode, so we'll see him soon. I'm not sure how the ex-wife is going to play into that. We'll see, though. I'm very interested to see how that plays out.
Cool.
Because, if you meet your ex
and
they're with somebody else, you would hope either your hair looks great or you have a gun.
Yeah, or both. One thing that there's actually, I don't want to spoil the relationship in the middle of this movie, the show, but let's talk about Santa Clarita Diet.
Let's do.
So you play a disembodied head on the show.
Yeah. I started as a body.
You started as a body.
A full entire person.
Full entire person, got killed off in the very first episode.
Yes.
And now you're a disembodied head. What is it like going onto the set and be like, all right, I'm going to just be a talking head?
Trick question. They filmed everything beforehand,
right,
with a dummy head.
Really?
I came in and for a day and a half filmed my half of the scenes as a zombie head, but in a contraption that doesn't allow you to move your head.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently moving my head is my crutch when I'm acting. Apparently I move my head a lot.
You played Caleb on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Also true.
Also true, yes. I'm glad we're confirming all these things as facts. What do you have to, looking back on that character, especially now with toxic masculinity, how do you reflect back on that character?
Especially now with toxic
just
masculinity.
In the Me Too era and that conversation that's going on right now.
This is the first that I've ever been asked this question.
I try.
First of all, it was my first villain I've ever played.
Right.
Usually I've played jerks, but not like full on.
Yeah.
I'm going to murder you villain.
Yeah.
As far as a comment on the Me Too era, I would say it's an appropriate comment because he was obviously a misogynist. He was obviously anti-women, and then he was split up from the middle, full on. That's how he was killed, from his manhood up. I think that's somehow apropos.
We have 5 fan questions, but before we do that, I have to ask this question.
Oh.
Can I take the sky from you?
No, you can't. No. Sorry, it's in the song.
All right, let's go to our first fan question over here.
Hi, do you see yourself
First
playing...
of all, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Camila.
Nice to meet you, Camila.
Nice to meet you. Do you see yourself playing historical character? And if so, which famous person would you like to play?
Historical characters, which famous person would I like to play? Captain Cook, because that would mean I would get to be on a ship and I would get to go to the Hawaiian Islands, the Tahitian Islands. He did a lot of that stuff.
It's all about where you're filming, right?
It's about location, and then in the end he gets his head cut off.
You're all about getting your head cut off, aren't you?
I'm all about it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do what you know.
Let's go to our next question over there. Here he comes.
And your name is?
Yes, my name is Lawrence, and it's always a pleasure, Captain.
Nice to meet you, as you were a soldier.
Yes. You mentioned about your dedication to your work and the advice Bob Woods gave you about keeping work sacred. What allows you to maintain that respect and humility for your work as you have all your success in your career?
Good question. Listen, I'll be the first guy to tell you I'm very, very lucky. People say you pick these amazing roles, and that it might appear that way, but I don't pick roles. I think now I'll do sci-fi. I think now I'll do a horror. You don't pick. You have your hand out, and somebody gives you a job. I've been very fortunate that I've been able to perform these roles that resonate with people. I appreciate them as I think more than anyone else does, because not only am I a fan, but I also get to participate. So I revere my work because I enjoy it so much.
And we appreciate you all the better for it. Thank you.
Lawrence.
What's the, real quick before we get to the next question, what's the role that resonated with you the most?
For different reasons, I will say Malcolm Reynolds. It was my first shot at a lead role. I came off of 3 years of doing intense work on daytime. I was nominated for a daytime Emmy. I came out to Los Angeles, and people say, he's good, but we don't know if he can handle a lead. It's like, well, no one will until you do give me that opportunity. And Joss Whedon was the first guy to say, you're the guy.
That's awesome. Our next fan question is also behind me.
All right.
And you are?
Chris.
Nice to meet you, Chris.
Nice to meet you, too. How do you prepare for the roles you're given to on movies or TV shows?
How do I prepare? Well, first of all, I read it front to back. I try to determine what my part of the story is. I think people make a mistake. They come in and they say, this is my chance to shine. It's not your chance to shine. It's one scene. It's one piece of a day. It's your character. It's whatever character you're playing, it's 5 minutes in his day. It's not a shine moment. It's a character moment. I think preparing, and I think being pleasant to be around.
Thank you.
You're the best. Thank you. You're very pleasant, too.
All right, our next question is coming up here.
And your name is?
Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi. You have police advisors on your show. Were there any anecdotes or stories that they told you that kind of shocked you, you weren't aware of?
All of them.
All of them?
Let me tell you, we trained with some wonderful guys, Chick and Bob are their names. They are amazing guys, and they'll say, this is the rule. This is why we do this. This is to prevent this one thing. This one time a guy did this, and it's a crazy, nutty story, and now they have a procedure to make sure that never happens again. And all the stories would kind of, they would curl your hair. But there's a code you get where they'll say, hey, we need you over here for a domestic dispute. We need you over here because there's been a traffic accident. There's a code for everything, but there's a code that says, we don't know what's going on. We have no idea. They need the police, but we don't know why. So you have no idea what you're coming up on. And apparently one time they came up, this is horrible to hear, they came up on a dead body in a car that had been there for over a week after a suicide. Someone had put a gun underneath and blown off everything above the chin.
Well, on that note,
right?
Let's go to our next fan question. We have one more. Do you have any more fun stories like that?
There's a ton of those.
Oh, I
bet. That was the tamed down one.
That was it, really?
Oh my God, it gets worse.
Go on.
I'm telling you, they got all these kooky stories that all start with, so this guy gets killed.
Oh boy.
Hello, and you are?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Not at all.
I'm Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca.
And I was just wondering if there were any roles that you ever turned down that you regret turning down.
No. I don't remember. No, I don't remember turning down any roles that I thought would be amazing. There's plenty of roles I tried out for that I didn't get, and I regret that.
Such as?
I was actually in a meeting for a role, and they said, yeah, they're thinking about offering this role to like a Tom Hiddleston type, you know, like a Bradley Cooper. And I said, listen, you could hire Tom Hiddleston or Bradley Cooper for your movie, and yes, their celebrity and their fame is going to bring more people and thus more money to your movie, yes. But also, on the other hand, they're probably going to do a really, really, really good job. So...
What's the weirdest, what's like the one role that's just really the one you're like, wow, I did that? This is the weirdest one.
Yeah, I don't know about weird, but I was in Saving Private Ryan.
Yes, you were.
I was the wrong Ryan. When they tell the kid his brothers are dead and he cries and they go, oh, wrong guy.
Yeah.
That was 25-year-old me.
What was that?
What was it like?
Yeah, please.
A super duper nerve-wracking. All I had to do was cry, and I was really good at it. Man, when we were in 7th grade, my friends and I on the bus would go, okay, who can cry first? Go. And whoever could cry first was the winner. So it was like, oh, I could do this. This is easy. I was so nervous I couldn't cry.
Yeah.
I was really tense. And there's Mr. Tom Hanks. We call him Oscar Tom. And then Ted Danson right beside me. I'm a huge Cheers fan. There's all these guys, super big movie stars. They're all just watching you, and I'm dry. I'm like a popcorn fart, just nothing. And Mr. Steven Spielberg pulls me aside and says, what I hear you saying is, wherever it is inside, it's not coming out. But you're at least acting it. But tell me about your backstory. So I did. And then he said, okay, it sounds like good. He tweaked my backstory a little bit to make it super duper sad. I started crying, listening to him talk. He goes, you look ready. Let's roll these cameras, shoot this on a 22, and action.
Wow.
That was it.
That's
Then I cried 17 times in a row. And then they said, hey, we only needed the first 13. You can stop crying.
I haven't rewatched that film since I first saw it. It's one of those just like, it's so powerful and so heart.
I have friends from high school who call me up and go, you were in that movie?
That's it.
That's it.
All right.
You know what? Everybody did a really amazing job here today.
You guys, we're very proud of you, especially you and you over there. All right, so make sure to watch The Rookie, premiering tomorrow night on ABC at 10 p.m., starring this handsome man right here, Nathan Fillion.
Oh.
Yeah, I know that one up there. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon. I know, it's just...